Good morning, high school students. We are about to begin our forum now. You will hear from the three candidates who are running for representative to the New Haven Board of Education. Our moderator for today will be Dave Cruz Bustamante, who is one of the current student representatives to the board. I'm Dr. Paul White, Assistant Superintendent for the high schools. Thank you all for joining us, and we will begin.
Okay. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing over here? First, I would like to say, this is very strange, at least for me. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. This is very formal, and I'm not really used to those formal processes, but we're gonna get through it. Thank you all for coming, and thank you all for running. Really appreciate it.
I'll keep the time, so 2 minutes.
Gotcha. So let's start with some opening statements. And get in here, I'm Dave, the current, thank you. I'm the current Student Board of Education representative, the junior representative, which is the seat y'all are running for. So let's get started for our opening statements. Let's start from Layla and move our way down. So tell us your name, who you are, and why you're running for this position.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Layla Kelly Walker, and I'm a sophomore at Cooperative Arts and Humanities. I decided to run for this position because I wanted to make a positive impact within the district, and I feel that if I can make that change within our district, then I can also make that change within our city as well, because we can definitely use positivity.
Good morning, guys. My name is Shumei Chapman. I go to Hall House, and I'm currently a sophomore. I'm running because I want to see change in our schools and make sure that everybody feels included and equality in our schools, as well as our neighborhoods. So, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm John Carlos Musser, a sophomore at Hope Cross High School. I'm running for this position because I want to improve the student experience in New Haven Public Schools. I'm passionate about becoming a part of the positive force that need to address the many problems in our schools and communities.
Thank you so much. Are y'all affiliated with any organizations, your student council, anything like that in leadership?
I'm affiliated with my school student council. I'm actually the sophomore communications officer, and yeah.
I'm the sophomore president
I'm just part of the student council.
Gotcha. Well, there are over 20,000 New Haven Public School students in the district. That includes high school, middle, and elementary school students. So how do you plan on representing all 20,000 of those students on the board if you were to get elected?
Well, I think the main thing is making connections, and I do enjoy making connections with many people in the district and just meeting teachers from K through grade schools and the high schools as well. So I feel that if I make connections with those teachers and staff, and also try to make connections with other organizations that work directly with students, then I can start to make changes within those schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much what she said, but also connecting our high school students with our younger kids, making sure that we're better role models and influences for them, and connecting with the younger students.
In my opinion, the best way to represent the 20,000 students in the New Haven district, I need to connect with them, hold various conversations, surveys, and outreach activities. I would also communicate with existing organizations and spread the importance of student voice through our social media, ensuring that we can make a difference through the decisions made by adults in our school.
And what character traits, what parts of your personality, what about what you do, what all of y'all do you think would help you in this position if you were to get elected?
I feel like I'm a very driven and focused person, and I can be, assertive when necessary. And I feel that if I were to, be in this position as a student leader, you need to know when to be assertive and when to not be, because even though you're not a voting member, your opinion does still matter. So if you're able to go and make clear and concise statements about your opinions, then you're able to make more of a positive impact. And having passion is very important because you can't treat this as it's a job. You can't have it as something extra to put as an application. You have to be serious about it. So.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What character traits do you think would help you in this position that you have?
Being like driven and dedicated when it comes towards trying to get the community together and focusing on the community aspect and helping out with the community. I'm sorry. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Do you want us to come back? Okay.
I think I'm very diligent, responsible, self-reliant, and community-oriented. And I think these are important qualities that would help me perform the tasks and responsibilities of the student representative position.
Shumei?
I feel like I'm really like a very open book when it comes to my personality. So putting that into what I do and being very open with the people in the community.
Okay. Okay, yeah, like this is, I don't know, this is still feeling really strange. I don't know if y'all are still feeling that way too. Definitely like, okay, whatever. I have some questions, but I really want to hear what's on your mind. Because I think oftentimes in elections like these, you know, we kind of say the same thing, how we're going to listen, how we're going to this and that. And I mean, I feel like folks are tired of it. Y'all are tired of it. That's why you're running. I really want to know what's on your mind. And I really want to know what you're pissed off about and what you're passionate about. So I do have a couple of questions. Number one is a bit lighter. Talk about a joyous or happy moment at your school. What do you like most about your school in particular?
Well, I go to co-op, so we have an arts focus, and a lot of my joy comes from performing and watching my friends perform. And I feel that those events that we have in our school really bring the community together. Like next week, we're having a theater showcase, and a lot of my friends are performing, and that's just something that often brings the community together, and everyone gets really excited because the performances are just always really amazing.
What I like about Hill House is that we have lots of like things incorporated in our building. Like we have a culinary program, we have our band, we have lots of things that make our school like a community. And when we come together like with the band, when they go to like football games and stuff, or when they perform by themselves, it really is like an eye opener that brings the school together.
One of my favorite moments at my school was coordination. There was a lot of dancing and food. Everyone was having a lot of fun. And I feel like it's an example that school can be more than just a place for learning, but also a place where we can foster friendships, have fun, and be a part of a supportive community, which I've been blessed to have during the early stages of my campaign.
Students often complain about the quality of classes and bathroom maintenance. It's a constant complaint. The bathroom locks are broken, there's no toilet paper, there's no soap, etc. How do you plan on addressing this within the board, working with students, working with other groups, etc.?
I'll start off talking about the issues within the classrooms, such as the quality of classes. I know a lot of classes at my school are, there's a lot of electives, and we have electives based on different history. So there's African American history or Latinx history. And a lot of times, some of the teachers that might be teaching these courses are not fully aware of the community that they're teaching to. Now, when I look around and I see many different students, I see many different faces. We're within the inner city, and in order to truly connect with your students, you have to have cultural competence. So if we were to ensure that teachers could go through trainings to give them some of that cultural competence, then that would really help for students to feel more comfortable. And moving on to the bathrooms, students often don't take pride in the bathrooms and don't take pride in the places that they're using within the school. And we can encourage them to take pride by maybe sprucing it up a bit, because oftentimes we walk in, there's no soap. So how about have a student report that to the custodian, like make those connections, and just encourage students to like go out and, if there's no toilet paper, like say something. Don't just like write on the walls or do something like that. Like try to really make those connections and just take pride in the facilities that you're using.
At House, we have a different problem. We don't really have problems when it comes to our classes and being connected, I feel. because we do have a lot of electives, and even electives that I don't know, we have we have forensics, we have women's studies, and we have African American studies, which is ran by Black women essentially. But when it comes to the bathrooms, our main problem is just when they lock the doors or when they don't let specifically women use the bathrooms when we have more problems in comparison, and they make us wait, or they don't open up the big stalls.
For me, subpar quality of classes is a result of like a lack of qualified permanent teachers. There's not a lot of permanent teachers over across. I have 2 classes this year without a teacher. And I feel like many students are in danger of not being properly educated in the skills and knowledge needed to prosper in society. And we can improve this by joining other associations pursuing the same goals as ours. Voicing our concerns is what our country's been founded on, has continually been a big factor for change in America. And that's why I think it's not only the job of a student representative to express the frustrations of students on the board of education, but to be on the front lines of organizing and protest. For the poor conditions of bathrooms, I would push for the repair of utilities as well as the availability of soap and toilet paper. However, it is necessary for all students to play a part in the solution.
Hear y'all. However, y'all are one person on the board, right? And the student representative on the Board of Education doesn't have a formal vote, so they don't have any formal authority in that regard. So how will you reckon with that? How will you be able to solve these problems if you don't have a vote? And if you're 1 or 2 people on the board, you'll be working with me. How will we do that?
Well, one of the things that I really want to encourage during my campaign is the impact of student power. So within my school, we have 3 different groups that have student power, such as peer leadership, National Honor Society, and the Student Council. And I want to encourage the people within those groups to go out and speak at the board meetings, because we cannot do it alone. The student representatives can't do it alone, and we do need the help of other students. So if the board is able to hear all of our voices, then that will have an impact on their decisions.
Be able to get the schools together as a community and get their point of views and make sure that they come out to support so they are able to also get their point of view in. Being able to get us all come as a community might be able to get them to change their minds so they can hear the voice of all of us and be able to, take notes of that.
Yeah, a lot similar to what you guys said. I feel like it's very important for us to organize as students and to apply pressure through protest. I feel like that's really the only way we can actually see change in public schools.
The next question was, what are the top 3 issues that are on your mind? But I feel like in New Haven, we often focus on problems and issues, and we all know those issues. So I'd like to ask, what does a healthy, well-funded, and nurtured New Haven Public Schools look like to you? A school which exists in the richest state, in the richest country in the world, a school that all students deserve to go to and really be nourished in. What does that vision of that school look like to you?
Well, as I previously mentioned, increased student power would really help that idea, and also expanding the amount of mental health resources available to students. And I'm really emphasizing that because I really saw a decline in the mental health of students after the COVID-19 pandemic. And I also just feel like, the same thing that I just previously mentioned, the clean and safe facilities, and also having more access to technology and more inclusivity for all students.
I think more built-in mental health days instead of mental health activities. More days focused on mental health and really packing down what it is instead of just saying that this is what we're going to do. This is mental health. Let's do something instead. More like a teaching moment as well as us taking a break from it all, as well as more activities and more field trips. I went to a college trip to Philadelphia. That was probably the only college trip I'm ever going to go on. I'm gonna be honest. But more college trips and getting to know more careers, especially in trade and stuff, because they don't show us much outside of just college. There's many careers, and maybe if they open us to see more careers and stuff like that.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah. What does your vision of a better New Haven Public Schools look like to you?
A vision of a better New Haven Public Schools is one where teachers are allowed to create their own curriculums to have more interesting classes for the students. I feel like teachers aren't always allowed to teach the way they want to. And my teachers have always expressed this sometimes. And, you know, schools sometimes teaches us skills that we're never going to use, like factoring or stuff like that. And, you know, these might be important skills for like critical thinking, but I don't think that's going to be worth spending, you know, hours on studying if we're just going to forget it like, I don't know, a day after the test. So I think to summarize what I'm saying is definitely we need to find a better way to teach our students. We can't have people sleeping in classes because they're so bored. We can't have people not wanting to do homework or dreading to go home and do homework. We need to find a better way to get our students motivated to learn so we can have, you know, better people coming out of our high schools.
Let me not say nothing because my algebra teacher might be watching. But that's a good point, John. My question for y'all is, what motivates you to come to school? I mean, not all students run for their local school boards. Why are you doing this? Like, what are you getting out of this? What motivates you to come to school every day?
As a student who's been in New Haven public schools for my entire life, I've really watched the district go down, and I've watched some of our highest points and our lowest points as well. And I feel like growing up, you know, I saw the other student representatives, and I thought, like, what if I could, you know, make a change like that someday? And after really involving myself in different organizations, in different extracurriculars, and really just trying to get involved in my school community, I noticed so many of the different problems that we were having. So what truly motivates me is when I see, you know, different students struggling, and I see students wanting to make a change, I feel like I can be the student to make that change. And that's just what truly motivates me, you know, to come every day and to continue to put in effort constantly.
My biggest motivation to come to school and keep like working harder on our community and making sure that our schools are good enough, because I have a younger sister who goes to New Haven Public School, and I also have a younger brother. He's not in the system, but schools in general, I just want to make a change and make sure that it's a possibility, like it's possible. We can make a change and we can make schools better. And I just want it to be better for my younger sister.
I think a big motivator for me to like run for student rep and make a better community is definitely my friends. Like when I go to Cross, I have a lot of friends out, and you know, it's a good time. I always have a good time at school, and I feel like it could be better, and it could be better for a lot of other people who perhaps are not as motivated as me, because I think I'm very privileged in that way. I don't have to come home. I come home to like a two-parent household basically. I don't have like something going on at home, and because of that, I feel like I can just really enjoy my time at school, even though there's times where I, you know, don't feel like going. Sorry.
You're good.
So it's really just friends. I really want to build a community and just make a better place where people can make friends and learn, and, you know, just become the best they can be.
So I think this will be my last question before I ask y'all for your closing statements. Oh, wait, we'll do two questions, and now I need to choose a good one. I might ask another one, I don't know. Talk about a time you faced a challenge or you faced adversity. How did you deal with that challenge?
I would say the time that I faced the most adversity was the transition between middle school and high school. And I definitely feel like that's something that's not really talked about enough. Luckily, at co-op, we do have a 2-week summer program where students are able to rotate through the music department and many other departments as well. And they're able to kind of get a feel for the building and understand where their classes will be, some of their teachers. And I feel like if we try to make the transition for students a little bit easier, then students would be, you know, more motivated, and they would just feel more comfortable in their school environment. Because once I did the 2-week program and I actually arrived at my school, you know, I was really comfortable. But, you know, of course, grades and classes, like, they change, because in middle school, there's like that one level, and then there's like that one class that we know is like a little bit more advanced, but it's not actually said. And now we have honors and AP, and making that transition is honestly very difficult. So I want to make that easier on the middle school students that are transitioning.
Can you please elaborate on adversity?
Any problem or challenge that you faced in your life, whether it could be personal, academically, in work, a challenge that really stuck out to you and that, how did you respond to that, basically?
Okay, so I have ADHD and I'm on a 5 and 4 plan. And a lot of my teachers, they go off of what they want to do. They don't really follow much of what gets put in place in orders and rules like that sometimes. So when it comes to my teachers and when they don't want to, when they pick and choose when they want to, go off the rules and off of what's on power school, what is told to them, I have to, go out my way and go tell like administrators that the situation is happening. But I mean,
No, you're good.
One of my biggest challenges I faced, like it's a personal one, is anxiety. In the 6th grade, I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and negatively affected like whole parts of my life for like 5 years up until freshman year. And I didn't put myself out there because of this. I didn't really get a lot of friends, and I didn't do things that I genuinely enjoyed because it was fear of rejection and stuff like that. And I dealt with it through forcing myself to do things that I was uncomfortable with. I joined the lacrosse soccer team. I joined student council and met people, and I just try to put myself out there more.
Gotcha. How much time do we have left?
You have 13 minutes.
13. I'd also like to involve the audience in this a little more too. Is there anything that y'all have on your mind that you want to ask these representatives? Yes.
Well, about how you were talking about having the teachers get extra training for the, I don't know, you said something about others were teaching Latinx or things like that. Who will pay for the teachers training for that?
Well, this is something that will go through the state education board, and we've had representatives from there actually come to the citywide meetings. So if I'm able to make connections with those people, then I can really, try to talk to them and have conversations with them, and also work with other organizations in our city as well to accomplish that. Yes.
So my question was basically like, what are your plans, like what type of events or things do you want to do to kind of integrate the high school, middle school, and elementary? Because I feel like a lot of your points are talking about bringing the community together. How are you planning on executing that?
Well, I would want to create a bond between middle school and high school students. So maybe having like a buddy program or some type of system like that, where we have peer leaders or student councils from the schools go into some of the K-8 schools or to some of the middle schools, and to kind of have, a panel like kind of the same one that we're having now, and have middle school students kind of have the opportunity to ask high school students about their experiences, and also talk to high school teachers as well to understand how the curriculum.
At least you could hear it.
Big Brother, we get students from our schools to go to the middle schools and mentor them and also get community service for it.
If you want to. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, and then I'll get to you.
I'm assuming that you all are very empathetic people. Like you all have said, you want more change, you want to make a difference. So basically my question is, what is the most important thing about using empathy in your school environment?
I think, and I learned this a lot after arriving at co-op. I've met so many different people from so many different backgrounds, and I've been educated in many different ways. And, not in like a, being rude to anyone kind of way, but just so many people have taught me so many different things about their identity, who they are. And I think that's really a place where we need to have empathy, because our world is constantly changing, and there are so many people that, identify differently than I do. And they've, taught me many things and just have been able to teach our school community many things. And I think that that's really something that we should all be empathetic about.
I feel like I'm a very relatable person. I'm just average. I feel like it would be easy for me to be empathetic because I know how it is in multiple different aspects and perspectives. Yeah, I'm not really perfect, so I think it would be easy for me to connect with younger kids as well as people who are different and unique in many ways.
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
So like I was saying, since you are very empathetic people, since you're running for a position that you want to make a difference, how would you promote empathy? Not promote, but how would you use that in your school's environment?
Well, as student representative, I think we're going to express the concerns of students on the board's education. So using empathy is to see how they're feeling, like how important it is or why it's a problem, and express that to the board of education. Because using empathy is like trying to feel what they feel. And if I find out how they feel, I can show how important the problem is in the board of education.
Good question. I want to lighten up the mood a little bit. What is a fun fact about each of you?
Careful now.
I don't know if this is a fun fact, but I sing and I'm left-handed. There's not a lot of left-handed people, so yeah.
I don't really have any fun facts, but I play like 3 instruments and I run track, long distance, and that's really
I guess a fun fact about me is I play soccer.
Last question, Dave,
Last
and
question.
then close out.
Don't make me choose. You over here at the front?
What sets you aside from other candidates that makes us want to vote for you?
Well, as I previously mentioned, talking about some of my personality traits, I am a very driven and passionate person. And I feel like, a lot of people can say that they're driven and passionate, but can you show up and can you show that you're driven and passionate? And can you put the effort into what you're trying to do? And I feel like that's what sets me aside from other students within the community.
What sets me aside from other students in the community is that I understand how it is to not have a good day, to be down, not be driven in all those very important times in your life. It's just you just don't want to do it anymore. And to the motivation that you even get from getting out of bed, feeling good about yourself because you did the little things. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm really relatable when it comes to situations like that, as well as just being in this community for as long as I've been. I've been here my whole entire life, so I know how it is.
I think the thing that sets me apart from other candidates is that both my parents are teachers and one of them works in the New Haven Public Schools. And because of that, I think I have the perspective of someone who goes to the biggest public school in New Haven.
So this is something you guys might be interested in
goes to the things that he does. I think I can better assess problems and find solutions that are compatible with both teachers and students.
Okay. Last closing statement, and then we're done. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience, to all of the New Haven Public School students listening in? This is your platform. This is your time.
Thank you.
I just want to start by really appreciating everyone for coming out because, it's a Friday, we're all ready to go home. And I just really appreciate everyone who's supported me throughout this campaign. And I'm really dedicated to making a change within New Haven. And I really hope that everyone is able to do that with me. So thank you, everyone.
I just want to say thank you guys for coming. I was really anxious. I am right now. I'm jittering a lot. And it really means a lot that you guys came because I didn't even know what I was going to do, honestly. This is really nerve-wracking for me. This is a lot. I don't know. I'm sorry. But thank you guys so much for coming. It really means a lot. And thank you guys for supporting me. This really took a lot of courage to do.
I would also like to say thank you for everyone for coming and for overall supporting me. All my friends who helped me get the signatures, put up my posters, thank you so much, and for pushing me through this and for encouraging me to even do this at all. This is also very nerve-wracking for me. I was like up till like midnight thinking about this kind of scratching, and just a little nerve-wracking.
We are in 2023 junior student representative candidates. Layla Kelly Walker from Hill House, no, Co-op. And the Socialist Scholars Party, Shu Mei from Hill House, and the Hill House Student Council, and John Carlos from Wilbur Cross and the Wilbur Cross Student Council. Another round of applause, please. Is Co-op Student Council here?
And just let them know when's the election?
Yes, May 19th, correct? Is it paper ballot or is it?
Paper ballot at the school.
May 19th is election day. Again, these are your candidates. They will be paper ballots. If you have any questions, reach out to me. My name is David Cruz Bustamante, student rep. You can reach out to Mr. Lucas over here, the Director of Legislative Affairs at City Hall, or reach out to your local principal and they'll find a way to reach out to us. Thank you again so much for